Hello everybody and welcome to episode 29 of Competitive Magic with the Karnies. I'm your host from Italy, Andrea Mengucci, and joining me we have Javier Dominguez from Spain.
Hello everyone.
And Anthony Lee from Australia.
Hello everyone.
What?
What?
No. Come on, Anthony. Do it again.
What? Do what?
Anthony Lee from Australia.
Hello everyone.
No, we have received some complaints on our Patreon Discord that you didn't greet the public correctly last time.
Oh, what did I say?
You said something like yo.
Oh, did I? Okay, I believe that.
Yeah.
That sounds believable. I don't know if you're gaslighting me,
all right,
but I believe it.
Let's do it again. Anthony Lee from Australia.
Hola.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is good. This is exactly what the public wanted to hear. Thank you, Anthony.
I'm happy to please.
Anthony's a famous people pleaser. No, actually, it's probably
the opposite. Yeah.
All right, so the Karnies are back together, and we're back to our regular schedule, which involves just talking about a bunch of formats with, everything that happened over the weekend. And I'm glad to be here on a regular day, regular schedule. We're not celebrating any champion this time.
Yeah, it's only because Anthony didn't play PTQs. He didn't play any promo card, Anthony.
Yeah, it's very sad.
One day.
Yeah, so I believe we played a bunch of events this weekend, or at least I did. I played 2 Mox Showcase, and I haven't won a single match.
What?
Well, it happens. That happens. This time it was you.
Yeah, I went 0-3 and 0-2. Very clean. The day was over quickly for me. What about you guys? Did you play any Magic this weekend?
I actually played also same events. I mean, I skipped the Saturday Vintage one, but I played the Legacy one, and I think I won like 4-4 or 3-4, which is not that much better than you. And I also played some LCQs, but also didn't do very well. So I basically won the same as you did.
Oh. Well, that means I'm ahead.
What about you, Anthony?
Because I'm still just playing a bunch normally, but I didn't enter any tournaments, which means I got the same number of wins as you guys, so that's cool.
So we're even.
We're even, yeah.
Yeah, I struggled so much to get the qualifier points, and then I just burned them all.
Well,
it's okay. The journey was fun. I tested enough Legacy. I got a deck that I thought was good. I played Blue Red Delver. We're definitely gonna talk about Legacy later in the podcast. Actually, that's gonna be the last format we talk about. But I don't know. I had fun playing some Legacy. What about you, Javier? What did you play?
I played Red Green Initiative. I felt like I wanted to try something different, like get out of my zone of comfort, and it did not go very well. I had like some easy rounds because I got very lucky because I was playing a luck deck, and then the luck deck didn't do the luck deck thing, and I stopped winning. Like the Ancient Tomb decks is just we'll talk about this later, but I didn't do very well. I also don't really like where this is going. The format. Okay,
we're talking about Legacy later for sure. Let's kick things off mentioning the fact that this weekend not only Magic Online had events, also the Arena Championship happened. That is the premier event for Arena. $200,000, 2 world slots. So let's kind of unpack a little bit of that event. It was Historic and Draft, the last set. So Pyrexia OB1, and the winner was Onizuka Hiroshi, and the runner-up was Polo Alexi. They got a world slot. Congratulations to you. And what about the decks they played? You want to take it over? You are definitely more expert than me in Historic.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's cool because if you look at the top 8, it's 8 distinct decks, and some that people wouldn't really have expected to be... well, they weren't necessarily the decks people would have expected to be winning, I guess, which is very cool. Like, for example, the winning deck was Is It Wizards, which I think is a deck that a lot of people find very appealing and people hadn't really expected to win, I guess. It did, though. Phoenix as well. That one maybe is more of unknown quantity, but still very powerful. Kind of funny that both of the decks with Symmetry Sage were the ones in the finals there. And quite a few pro players in this top 8 as well. You have Jan Moritz Merkel, Mati Kuisma, Yuki Ichikawa, and Andrei Strasky. So these arena championships definitely have quite a lot of fierce competition in them. For fans of Historic, I guess the Tainted Pack deck is back, so that's always a funny deck list to look at. And there was a new deck in the Mardu Reanimator deck where a bunch of our teammates came up with some Mardu Reanimator deck that I think they overall did quite well, and I think one other player in the tournament as well, Kirill Sarkov, also played that list. So I think that was overall quite a strong performing archetype as well, and also one that's new. A different way to use Crucius, I guess. So that was cool. I just don't follow Historic at all normally, so it's kind of fun to watch a tournament where you just don't know. Like, I know the cards, but I've just never seen the decks, and that's kind of fun compared to like the normal tournament viewing experience where, obviously we are very familiar with what's going on. So yeah, I enjoyed the novelty of watching that event.
Yeah, I think that's also a very cool thing that happens sometimes in the PTs where there are different groups, different people coming to the same deck, but the build is so different, specifically the Karnies combo deck that Strasky brought, but also like, Murakami Kazuya just brought just super different Karnies combo. Like, it doesn't even seem like the same archetype, but they both like Karnies combo. I think that's cool. The same as Reanimator, there are different Reanimators. I think the effects that you have like same archetypes, different deck lists is pretty cool. And I think that's I'm appealing. I didn't realize that Karnies plus Jace was that good, but apparently it is the big thing. And one thing that happened here also is Simon Nielsen missed it. Our loved Simon missed the top 8 on the second breaker.
Yeah, which is so hard. Like
as tight as it can be.
Yeah,
let's explain that a little bit, because a lot of people don't really know how tiebreaker works. So the tiebreaker says your opponent win percentage of matches, and apparently the eighth person and the ninth person had the same exact win rate of the opponents. It's crazy.
Yeah, they probably had the same opponents. They probably had like the 9 opponents probably. Otherwise they will not be, I guess.
That's strange, yeah. And then you count the 2 1s and the 2 0s, which usually don't really matter in long tournaments if you win 2-0 2 1s, but this time matter for Simon.
Yeah.
So the second tiebreaker is your game win, and the third is their game win, right?
Yeah, your opponent's
game wins.
Yep. So the second one is how many. So that the second tiebreaker is when winning 2-0 is better than winning 2-1, which is usually incredibly marginal. Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen this.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I see it, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's usually marginal. It's usually relevant for like the 3 rounds, the like 8 people event.
Small tournaments, yeah.
Or 9 people event, something like that.
And I understand.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Not for like a 9-round 32.
Yeah, it definitely won't matter there. But
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I like these tournaments. I think I would like to play one of these one day. I tried. Maybe one day we'll qualify for one. I think they're cool. It's like they always have like these formats. So I mean, I think this is dream for like deck brewing or whatever, deck tuning. I like it a lot. And I think this it's very cool. This tournament exists. They're also kind of large. The level is high. I'm liking them. Like, I think how their structure is fine.
So how you qualify exactly for these events? I know that you have to go 7-1 2 times.
You have to win the arena qualifier weekend. Yeah, pretty much.
But you don't necessarily
have to.
You don't necessarily have to 7-1 both times. So you do need to 7-1 on day 1. So it's a 2-day event. So you need to qualify for day 1 through either a play-in event, which happens the week before or the day before, or by achieving a high position on the Mythic ladder. And then to get through day 1, you need a 7-1 or better record. And then in day 2, if you have 7 wins, you automatically qualify for the Pauper Pro Tour and the Arena Championship. But they will also fill slots in from people who had fewer than 7 wins, because usually there are not enough people with 7 wins to fill the entire event. So a lot of the time, people who had 6 wins or even 5 wins on day 2 will get in as well. They just don't also get the Pro Tour invite currently. So yeah, you need to have at least 12 wins usually from an arena qualifier weekend to qualify for an arena championship, and it's very hard.
I mean, getting 12 too, like it's like a top 8 in a GP.
Yeah, basically, right? Yeah, you have to like
no
X1 it. Yeah. It's very close to GP.
Yeah, top 8 GP, no buys, that's very rough. Yeah. I mean, it's worse because if you XO they won, it doesn't, which they could do, by the way. Like
Yeah.
UXO, they won, like.
Yeah, that's true.
But
They
How
have to be
often
distributed. Sorry?
do these events happen? How
Once
often
per
do
month.
these events happen?
They have one per month.
No, I mean the championships.
Once every 3 months,
Yeah.
I think.
Every 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically like the mocks, but for arena.
Yep, it's exactly the Mox for Arena.
Yeah.
It is exactly
Okay,
the Mox
that's
for
cool.
Arena. Yeah. It's kind of cool. I never played the Mox and I'll play the Arena, so, one day I will qualify for one of either.
It's actually mad
Yeah,
to me
we
that you haven't
play-
yet. It's so strange.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
done
just
everything
even
else.
losing the finals. It's just,
Yeah,
I
you
just
have lost a
always-
lot of finals.
I think I have lost like 4 or 5 matches for qualifying for, whatever. It's
yeah,
fine.
but
Oh, that's it.
well, eventually. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
eventually. Or not, it's fine.
I mean, it's the same as for. So I mean that's something that a lot of competitive players have to recognize, right? Like a lot of people get frustrated or whatever when they're getting close a lot of the time. But if you're getting close a lot of the time, you're mostly there. I don't know.
And if you, I mean, there's, it's also truth. Like if you might have lost five finals or PT, and well, they can say like you might get there. I mean, you will get there or not. You have to be in peace anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
Like because you could lose 5 more. And
all right, now you know.
because for every.
Yeah, now you know if you need some cheering up, don't talk to Javier. You lose 5 finals in a row, you come to Javier for a pep talk, and he's like, I don't know, man. Maybe you'll lose another 5.
No, but you could.
I mean, I know it's true, but it's not very encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's encouraging, but I can see what you mean. But yeah, I don't know. I like the mocks. I just think it's very cool this tournament exists. That you just play in the software and you qualify there and you play. Yeah, maybe soon we'll have Karnies in this tournament and in the mocks also.
Oh, one step at a
One
time.
question.
We'll start by filling out worlds, and then after that we can worry about the mocks and whatnot.
What's the question?
Yes?
Do the arena opens give you at-large points for these events?
No, Arena Open qualifies you for the qualifier though. If you get
Okay.
enough,
Enough
if you
wins,
get enough wins to qualify for it, which is good. So you can skip the ladder,
Yeah.
which is a good thing to
It's
skip.
very nice. I think the arena opens are mostly about the money you can get from them, more than feeding into like a bigger system. So
Also drafting, which is great.
I mean, yeah, there's that as well. They're all limited. So.
I managed to skip the arena testing for DRC. Let's see if I'll be able to skip also the arena testing for the Pro Tour itself. Probably not.
I don't
though.
think that's happening.
I think a lot of people did that. You can draft a magical land or whatever. I mean, I prefer arena, but that's on everyone.
Yeah, but I mean, for testing standard, it's a bit hard to avoid.
It's still the same. I think that's a good part, a beautiful part about having 2 softwares, right? Like you can play just the software you
When you
prefer.
like. That's true.
Yeah, I think that's a good upside.
The software I prefer was Paper with Calc. Unfortunately, I won't be able to test in Paper.
Yeah, that doesn't count as a software.
At my home. Hopefully for the next RC, we're gonna do it again.
I think it looks like that. I think.
We'll think about it.
That one's
We'll think
Pioneer,
about it.
right? In
No.
Yes,
Why?
yes.
It was been a good day, Anthony.
It's time to play a different deck, Javier.
Is it?
No, never.
No. It's time to change it from your routine of Bloodtide Harvester, Fable, Shieldred.
I'm locking in my day. I could send the decklist now already.
Finally he admits it.
Yeah.
We pretended for such a long time it wasn't going to happen, but now
They
we just
still haven't open registration, but I can still submit my 75. Don't worry.
I remember there was a window of I believe 18 months or something where I registered Siege Rhino, Anafenza, I don't know, just the same cards for every event. For so long, they just they kept them printing cards, but they
sometimes
were just
you get
worse
confused
than
by how long it's
absent.
been. I remember they really hit me for Lovestruck Beast. I was like, how am I still playing this card?
Yeah.
How long has it been?
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's been a long. It was long, yeah. I mean, I had this feeling with Chandra Hazard, Chandra Hazard and these cards. I mean, it's been a long time.
Some people, I know, I'm aware that a lot of players, more casual players, don't love the concept of rotation, but 2 years is honestly pretty long to play the same card. You're just how's this still around? It feels like forever.
It depends how often you play them.
That's
'cause,
true.
If
Yeah.
casual player, maybe play Weather once in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Me and
the
Avi
cards
probably
get
play.
old.
Yeah, we play enough every week. You're right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was looking at my old GPs because back in the days I was writing down every GP, every deck, and every performance, and I just went through this list of Abzan for so long in a row. I was like, wow, it's like, I don't know, 8 GPs in a row or something.
That set was pretty messed up.
That was before Mengu used the top 8 GPs though.
No, I mean that happened once, and it was literally the last GPs.
I just had to say it.
Had to get it in on the way out.
Yeah.
I know. I'm always happy to.
Maybe that's
share
why they
my
stopped them
losses in the GPs.
Maybe it's Mangu's fault. Do you think?
Exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like coincidence, right?
They say like, yeah, it's enough. Mengu got there. We don't need GPs anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Hey.
listeners, if you'd like to bring GPs back, then you can complain to Mangu that he got them to stop doing them. So now you know whose fault it is.
There was a GP that happened in March of 2020, which was like a lot of cities in Italy were in lockdown for COVID. They held the GP in France, and that's like everybody was like, it's insane, there's this GP is going on. And that GP had very few players because so many people couldn't travel and things like that. So that will forever be the last GP, I think, like literally with the mark of COVID right in front of it.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I mean, perhaps in different circumstances we can see something in future
For sure,
or something similar. But yeah, that's for another
All
time.
right, let's move on to Modern, shall we? So there has been a very large event in Texas, the Burton Memorial Open, that had 442 players.
Oh, wow.
And
That's large.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely large considering it's. But yeah, this I remember this event has always been very large. Also, they had crazy side events of like 1K vintage and stuff like the 1K standard. So definitely a great event to be around. I don't exactly know in which city it happened, but I know it was in Texas. So the winner is a very I think a content creator of Mono White Hammer, which notably has 2 Solitude main deck, 2 Solitude sideboard. Javier, as an Hammer Time player, what do you think about this?
Wow. I mean, they must be good in the mirror match. I'm not a big fan of playing the main deck, but I think it's a good idea to play on the sideboard. I've been disappointed with the removals, like these prismatic endings and the march on the sideboard. So I think Solitude might be an acceptable sideboard card, but I'm surprised to see them. For me, the biggest thing here is they have like Emeria's Call, like.
Isn't that just because of Solitude?
Yeah,
I think so, but it
seems little. It seems too little, but I guess. I mean, it comes up, right?
I mean, they probably also sometimes cast them, right?
Oh my god!
Like they have enough, they have enough staying power. They might cast it. I never tried it, but I mean, I don't know which matchups are this. I mean, it has to be very good against Yawmoth, for example, which is one of the worst matchups of the deck.
I mean, how often have you seen Cauldron Complete hardcast? Because it must be had a similar ratio, right?
To get to 7 does happen. It does happen.
Yeah, I guess. I guess you play differently when you know you can. So it actually,
I have casted it more than once. Like it does happen because, I mean, you play, you play Saga, then you get the drum, and you cast it. Like it's not that hard. So I assume this was
There is a nice interaction that might happen with this list, which is you evoke Solitude and then you tap it for the drum.
That's kind of nice. All right.
Yeah, that's not something to sleep on.
Yeah.
Sideboard 3 Hallowed Moonlight.
Wow, that is a good one.
That's very targeted.
That's very good. I like that card.
Yeah, so the third place deck is also a very interesting one that is very popular these days, which is Jund Creativity. I believe that Creativity is just raising up in popularity so much and so good, and the deck lists are getting refined and things like that. And yeah, the 3 Hallowed Moonlight are definitely saying, hey, look, I think that since I'm not playing blue, I can't have Spell Pierce, so I'm just gonna have counter spell.
Is it good against any other decks? I mean, I think it's good enough to play just opposing Creativity, but I don't know what else.
Also Rhinos.
Rhinos, Living End.
There's
definitely a lot of decks.
Yeah. Particularly Rhinos. It's a very good card against Rhinos because they cannot really do that much about it.
sometimes
Probably playable against Scam also, I don't know.
Maybe Yawgmoth? Is it good
I don't
against
know about
Yawgmoth?
that, but
Yeah, also fine. Like it's cantrip, right? Like
Yeah.
you will play it.
yeah, but I don't know if this deck can afford to.
I think it does. Like if you play Court of Calling or Evolution or even killing something and drawing a card for 2 mana is just like too good. I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
Guess it's
seeing
true.
this makes me want to try mono white, honestly, over blue white
Yeah.
because of how good this card can be potentially.
Makes sense.
So for those of you who don't know, me and Javier played against each other in a preliminary last week. I was playing Creativity, you were playing Hammer, and I went for Creativity Archon, you had one card in hand, and it was Orvar.
Yeah, and my defense had lethal anyway, so I don't
No,
think...
I know. But,
Also,
so
like with
in this
Hammer,
list,
like isn't like they're good at playing the whole hand, so they're just gonna end up stuck with one card, right? With the Orvar,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, no, I'm just saying that this list does not play Orvar, but plays Hallowed Moonlight instead. Whereas you
Could play
chose,
Orvar also. Every deck can
you
play
choose
Orvar. I see all decks are over decks, Mango, if you want it. That's a
No,
beauty.
I'm just
that's a
saying
beauty.
that the cyber slot for Creativity, they chose Moonlight because
Yeah.
no, you don't have infinite slots for Creativity, of course. So
Well, I guess.
this is something.
Well, like, can they change post-board? Like, if they know you have Orvars, they can change to the other win conditions, right? And then Orvar.
I don't think that's the case with Hammer specifically, because Hammer is still like a Nagro combo deck, so you cannot really dawdle too much.
Okay, seems reasonable.
Well, if you look at this third place player, Alexander Chaz, he had 2 Sarah's Emissary, 1 Emrakul. So maybe if he feels like it, he can bring in the Sarah's Emissary and name creature against you.
That's good.
That was
actually.
my guess. That's what I mean. Like, if they can do that, then Orvar doesn't work, right?
Maybe that's why they have Solitude then.
Yeah, I guess he actually has it covered either way. That's
The Solitude
nice.
doesn't exile the Sarah's Emissary.
Oh, true.
oh wait,
well, they're
yeah.
throwing that.
Only
then.
Emrakul.
GG.
Okay, whoops.
Yeah,
Oops.
that's what
GG.
you that's
That's
what
too
you do in
gullible.
Vintage.
Ah,
Yeah.
GG.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, so again, congratulations to Travis for taking this tournament down. I'm sure it was a great one to be around. Other notable things in Modern this week is I want to shout out Bullwinkle, which is a player that had so many good results for so many weeks. He's been crushing
Of
it
course.
with Rhinos. And his most recent list plays up to 3 Murktide Regent, which is so strange. But at the same time, he's been saying how, pitches to force a negation, which this deck sometimes is a little bit too light on. For example, today I was playing Rhinos, and I exactly found this problem of just not having enough blue cards for force, and just Murktide being a 3 mana 5/5 flyer is sometimes good enough as a third or fourth threat after getting some Rhinos cards countered.
oh,
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think the big issue here is like maybe you lose a little bit too much against creature decks because of Fury. Like I think Fury is one of the most important cards in this deck. But I think I'm gonna try this deck. I might just play it later today. Like I still have one more tournament to play in Modern, one LCQ. And do you recommend this Rhinos overall? Maybe instead of Hammer, Mango?
So, again, the list that there is in the show notes or in the description of this video, you'll find is from Island Go Sam, and he 5-0'd a LCQ. His list is very strange, right? It comes from Bullwinkle again. He has 2 Mystical Dispute, 2 Furies. I mean, I don't feel like recommending to play 2 Mystical Dispute main deck. I think that's definitely...
sure. There's some metagame reason.
But
for
I can
it,
play
sure.
3. I can swap 1 Fury. What about we swap 1 Fury for 1 Dispute and we call it today, Mango? And play this over
It's
Hammer.
just that I don't think the blue decks are I mean, John, Creativity is a thing. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many non-blue decks in Modern that are good and you play against. So for me, Mystical Dispute is a cyber card.
Okay.
Maybe it's about like what Rhinos is good and bad against specifically. I don't know.
Yeah, it's for Ledger Shredder. Rhinos is definitely bad against Ledger Shredder, and
Okay.
Mystical Dispute is the best one for one card that you can have against that card. But still, I think it's a cyber card. But I understand that if you expect the Modern LCQ players to pick up a lot of Murktide because it's the most popular deck in the high table, so the LCQs are highly competitive tournaments. So I can see that. I can see metagaming that way.
Right.
But I still believe that it is impossible to do in Modern because even the most player deck will be like, I don't know, 20%
And,
to the metagame.
Yeah. Also, while we're on the while we mentioned Bullwinkle, if you haven't seen it, I think many competitive players who are listening to this podcast would be well served by checking out his article that is up on his Twitter. I would recommend it. It's very good. The article about communication, to be clear. So
we can link it on the description.
yeah, okay, we can do that as well. Yes.
Yeah. Also,
yes,
I'm going to say this
highly
because Anthony never recommends anything to read. So
yes, I have very high standards, and I dislike most things that I read. But this, I think, was very good. So, yeah, go and read that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. To keep on talking about this list, I remember when at the beginning of Modern Horizons 2, when Team of Rhinos was a popular deck, I remember loving more Dead Gone than Fury. I didn't like Fury at the beginning. I mean, obviously now I look back as a fool, but I like to see that here there's 4 Dead Gone, 2 Furies, which is kind of like what I thought about what I was doing, 2 years ago. Which is funny.
Sometimes these things can be cyclical, I suppose. I don't know if that's
sure,
the case here, but
Fury's
maybe.
Yeah, Fury's good against Shredder though, right? Better than that gun. I mean, good.
Fury's
acceptable.
good against who?
Shredder. Acceptable against your Shredder.
Yeah, for sure.
You kill
yeah.
it. So maybe.
Yeah, you kill it. You kill it for sure. That's the 2 Mystical Dispute are definitely better, but again, for me, it's a cyber card. Yeah.
All right.
So you asked me about is Team of Rhinos better than Hammer? It's a difficult answer to give. In my power ranking, they're at the top, both of them. So I would say it's just.
Which one is better, Mengu?
In my power ranking, I have Rhinos higher than Hammer.
All right, then I'm playing Rhinos. Thank you. It's if you're gonna pick a deck, you need to decide between 2 decks. You just go to Mengu power ranking and just pick the one higher.
No.
That's how.
Please don't.
You do this.
No, that's
literally
malpractice.
That's what power rankings are for. So people, know how to use them now. That's how I'm gonna use them.
You're putting so much pressure on Mengu as well.
No, I know. I hate when this happens. But if you look at the Hunter Burton Memorial win percentage of Rhinos, Team of Rhinos is the 3rd most popular deck with a 53% win rate, which is higher than most of other popular decks.
I'm locking in. Thank you, Mengu.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
No, but
isn't Modern often the format where the most popular deck has the lowest win rate or just something awful?
Exactly, right? If you look at all the decks that are popular, they all do badly except Rhino, so...
Oh, well then.
That's great.
Welcome to Modern.
Yeah.
Anthony's favorite format.
Okay, so the classic 4 Modern challenges, we're gonna add those as well in the challenge. I mean, there's just... It's just Modern, right? Like every million different decks, and you can even play Esper Charm and get up to a second place.
That's your position. I want to make clear that it is not the official position of the Karnies as a whole that you can play Esper Charm in Modern. Okay, that's you can't do that.
According to Matteo23, you can play 2 copies and be second. How many times have you got second in a Modern challenge, Anthony?
Wait, Mathieu looks like a very French name to me, by the way.
It does.
Maybe you only think that because he's playing Esper Charm.
The 2, yes, but Mathieu is probably French, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
if you remember, future match area of Pro Tour Barcelona, in response to an Hogak, Guillaume Wafotapa cast Esper Charm, draw 2 cards.
He drew 2 cards.
He knows what he's about.
That's a powerful effect.
He's happy. I'm just saying, maybe not everybody's Guillaume Wafotapa.
I have to say, even like for being Modern, this results, the challenge top 8 is very stuck. Like the next one has 2 creativities, 1 hammer, 2 hammers, like 2 Rhinos, 1 giant. It's normal-ish, except the Tweedle Storm, which is on one of the challenges. But that's considering how wild the decks are every week. I think this week was rather
that's okay. Everyone is just in the Bilbo Baggins waiting room now. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like this Tweedle Lotus Storm, it's kind of wild, but I think we saw this some time ago, right?
Yeah, we definitely have. Yeah.
So it was not the wildest week.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, this week, you know how I do decks of the week and trying to get the spicier deck every week. I definitely struggled looking for something spicy. I eventually settled on a very boring Crushing Footfalls deck with 4 Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which wasn't.
That's like the opposite. So you went and found another deck with 4 Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Like every other format doesn't have that. And you're like, oh. Here we go.
Yeah.
More Fables with the Mirror
I've never
Breaker.
seen. So there was 2 different people with it, and with the same list. And also, I've never seen Fable in Rhinos.
Oh, so
And
maybe they.
So
yeah.
there's
Go on.
there's this thing, like, some people played a Season Pyro in Rhino, which seems good in theory because you're always hellbent. But I love to play Fable first as a bait for Spell Pierce or, counter spell, which can't be Spyro because then you have to discard your Cascade card that you actually need to cast later. So this might be the reason. Again, in theory, when looking at the list, this is the reason I gave. But in practice, Fable is just a card that you put on turn 3, and sometimes you pitch it to Fury.
I mean,
So it
also,
was okay.
I don't know. That's an ambitious definition of bait. I feel like if I tap out for a 3-mana card and then Spell Pierce it, I just wouldn't call that bait. That's just.
Yeah, no, I guess I should have said counterspell probably.
We should play Fable. I want to try Fable with Hammer. Like maybe we can just throw Fable in every single constructed deck and see which ones.
I mean, people don't
good
recognize
use of
that
it.
Fable does have some significant deck building constraints. I think. Like, I actually just don't think the card is that good in Rhinos. Honestly,
It doesn't seem good in Rhinos. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
think
seems good.
yeah.
It seems better in Hammer actually. To be fair.
Really.
Yeah, because you have a lot of trash, and you have no idea how many
guess so.
trash draws you draw with Rhinos. With Hammer, you look at your hand and you have
Yeah.
like the second Cigar Shade, 1 Ornithopter, 1 Pokemon card or whatever, and 1 color complete. Like you just have
guess
this
so.
junk in your hand every time.
Yeah.
Like
I figured like it was
when
kind
you
of
play against
yeah, maybe.
when you play against Hammer, you always are so mad at Sigarda's Aid because how good it is. But I'm sure that if you play Hammer, you draw so many extra Sigarda's Aid.
Yeah, of
You
course.
do.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do all the time, and you open these hands with 2 Cigar Shade and no Cayman whatsoever, and you're like, here we go again, and you have to keep it, but. It's
Yeah. Today with Rhinos, I got paired against Hammer, and they started with playing Sigarda's Aid and had force, and I didn't force it. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I feel like it's just the Mox Diamond thing when I play against lands. And Legacy.
It's different. It's different because equippers are actually the scarcest resource in Hammer.
Okay.
So it's tricky.
Like,
It's not the Mox Diamond
it's
because that's the weakest point.
It's way easier to find like an equipment than to find an equipper and stick an equipper. Specifically because
Exactly.
like Pure Steel Paladin is obviously a bit dicier than Sigarda's Aid being a small creature. So
Yeah, but it was a prison bar, so I didn't want to pitch it. But yeah, I understand.
Like there are
for
4 Hammers, 4 Sagas, 4 Mystics, and sometimes like 1 Demonic Tutor for Equipment or whatever.
Steel Shaper's
Steel Shaper's Gift.
Still shit.
So that's 13. That's a lot.
yeah, I would usually
notably,
fight the enablers. Yeah.
The Travis Brown that won the tournament in Texas. He was playing 1 core outfitter. That's the keeper.
That's
Yeah.
also
See,
that's
that's
something
the whole
that's
point,
very
right? Like we're
somewhat common.
saying, equippers are so scarce that people have to start putting stuff like that in their deck. It's not even stock.
Yeah, Mono White often plays them, and Blue White ones don't play it. The reason is like Blue White, since they have counter spells, they can disrupt more, so they can win more games with Saga. That's my reading of the situation. Sometimes you go like creature they kill, whatever. You play Saga, and then you pierce their Fable or their creativity or whatever, and then you put 2 tokens and they are good enough to win the game. This happens less with Mono White. That's why I think you need more equippers. So against Mono White, I would be less inclined to actually fight for the enabler there.
That makes sense to me as well. Yep.
That's me.
You really
All right,
hammered the nail on the head.
Shall we move on to the next format?
Yeah,
Yes,
which
gladly.
is the format of the people.
Not really.
Not really.
Was there an alchemy
No,
tournament? I thought the
it's
tournament was
standard.
historic. Okay. Standard, yep. Okay.
The format
Yeah.
of the Anthony people.
Yeah, I would like to talk about standard because,
Nice.
well, as most Magic content, the American audience is a big portion, and the Americans, and I'm sure other countries as well, will have the regional championship coming up in a few weeks. So, yeah, standard.
Yeah, there's 2
ref-
more US. There's 2 US RCs, right?
There's 2?
What do you mean?
Yeah, there's 2.
What do you mean two?
There's one in San Diego and one in Ottawa, right?
Isn't no.
No, Anthony, that is not a city. That is a magic card. That's the blue
Oh,
yeah.
Neon Dynasty.
Exactly. Ottawa
The Neon
Bounce.
Dynasty land. Okay, jokes aside. I don't know where does Joe come from, Anthony. Do you have any Canadian friend that you wanted to dagger?
No,
on this
no,
platform?
never. Do you
Is
think I was
that one
daggering
Ginky?
somebody? I've never daggered anybody in my life.
Who are you dagging here? Is that Ginky?
No, I mean all of Canada really. So I guess.
Oh, so you're not. It's like a big, huge dagger, the size of like. I mean, I was gonna say your country, but not because your country is like a planet. But
who's bigger, Australia or Canada? Is it Canada? Right?
I say Australia.
I think it's Canada.
No,
they have a continent. They're a full continent.
Yeah, Australia's a whole continent. I guess so. Maybe it's bigger, but I feel like Canada has all that ice stuff. Yeah.
I mean, you have deserts. So it's the same.
Yeah, I have no idea. I will say I'll go Team Australia. I think Australia is bigger just because of continent.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't mean it.
Speaking of teams, I'll put you back on track. It seems like standard right now is Team Esper versus Team Grixis. Once again,
always been.
Looking at these top 8s of the standard challenges, which by the way are huge.
Yeah, they're really big
both
now.
like 100 people.
Yeah,
they're both 100 people. Look like
nature is healing.
Look at what Wizards can do by forcing. I mean, I say the word forcing, not in a bad way.
Yeah. It is forcing.
Standard.
Yeah, I didn't actually want to play standard, but if I didn't, then I knew that Mark Rosewater was going to personally come to my house and break my kneecaps unless I registered.
I mean, you play standard every time, even when it sucks.
Yes,
so
because I'm very scared of Mark Rosewater coming and inflicting great personal harm on me. So I have to stay safe. Apple a day keeps the doctor away, and same thing with standard game a day. So.
Anyway, here it is, Rafin, the Scheming Seer, winning both standard challenges, one with 2 wedding announcement and the other one with 0. Let's talk about this a little bit, because we've never really talked about Esper. We mostly talked about Grixis, as that was the deck that we all played in the past weeks in our events. But Esper did very well in Naples, in the European Regional Championship. And a lot of wedding announcement in the main deck in those Esper lists. What do you guys think about that? Is that card worth the main deck slot? Is that card worth the cyber slot?
Well, the card is like a card that's specifically like a pre-cyber card against Grixis. So it's good as long as you expect Grixis to be the most played deck, but I assume it's embarrassing in the mirror match. Imagine you just play Thalia, they play Thalia and you have announcement in your hand. Like, it's just like mulligan.
I think it's probably. I think it's not very good in the mirror, but embarrassing is probably a bit strong.
I mean, I think it's the worst card in the mirror. I don't know how embarrassing a card like this can be, but it's a very worst card. Like,
but I feel that in the mirror, like, all the cards that aren't the best cards, like Rafine, are just all awful anyway. So I don't mind so much.
Well, yeah, but they're worse than, because at least the other cards, if you curve out, it's fine. Like Harving is a card you see here, which I guess
that was actually
Harving here has to be for the mirror match, I assume.
Not quite. Like, it's just kind of good in general. Like, it's also good against the mono white deck, for example. Like,
yeah, but I think it's not good against Grixis. Like, this player has 2 Harvins and 2 wedding announcements, so they're probably going to split the slots. One thing I want to point out is also, like, they don't have more wedding announcements on the sideboard, which is kind of strange to me. Yeah, that's unusual.
They have Wrath of Drabik instead. Look at that.
No, I mean, because usually players either think the wedding announcement is good or they think it's bad. Like, usually it's like a 0 or 4. Mm-hmm. But this player went for 2 main deck and just, like, call it a day.
Well,
that's
not
very
really
common.
A compelling reason that it has to be like that, right? I mean, there's not a reason that it should be a card at 0 or 4 necessarily.
No, there's not. But I'm saying, like, if you think they're good, do you think they're, like, I don't think it's a 0 or 4, but it could be a 1-off or whatever, but, like, it's just, I think they're not bad in multiples either way. Like, they're fine in multiples. Like, not as good as Fables are in multiples, but they're good enough in multiples. I feel like once you play 3, you're committed to play the 4th one, for example.
Do you think it could be about trying to, like, mismatch the number of answers your opponent can have to them? So, like, for example, like, you can try to make it so Invoke Despair is kind of awkward. It's, like, awkward to figure out how many you're supposed to have against 2 wedding announcements.
I mean, Invoke Despair is already quite weak against your deck. Like, you're still playing like a bunch of 1-drops, 2-drops, and Venix and Thalias, and I think Invoke Despair is already like bad enough.
Destroy Evil.
Also, this wasn't an open. This wasn't an open decklist event, so
yeah. But even if you have on decklist, like, your Invoke sucks. Ideally, you have like Geeks Command or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like,
to leave some Invoke, you do
what answers, because usually when you play like odd numbers of threats like this, it's about like trying to mismatch your opponent's answers. So I'm thinking like Invoke or Destroy Evil or something, where you try to make it so they can't have a good number against you. Invoke probably isn't that good against you in general, just because you're faster and have Thalia.
Brotherhood 10, I guess Brotherhood 10 is a card that will have announcement, but usually the best answer against announcement is attack.
Yeah.
Like Shieldred is the best answer against Announcement. You know, if there's an Announcement, they play Shieldred, and you
or
know,
flying.
you
Yeah.
put a token, they attack, and you're like,
Because I remember when Wedding Announcement was a bigger deal in the previous standard format, that Steel Seraph was like extremely good against that. So
yeah.
that's sort of that's usually the best way to beat Announcement. Yeah, and you can
I
use,
just don't think I agree with the 2 Announcement. Just think that they're. I can see they don't want to draw 2 because sometimes they're bad, and if you're losing their bad, it's like a snowball card. But if that's the case, and you think that's going to be a common situation, I think you should probably just play 0.
I mean, also if you think it's a common situation, you just probably shouldn't play Esper. Like
No, I mean no, because there's. I mean, if you're behind, you play now, you know, and you can come back. That's a whole different thing. I mean, the deck already plays full Shieldred, right? So it's not like you can play more Shieldreds.
Yeah, I wanted to mention a story of I was
Story
in
time.
Naples. Yeah, in Naples, I saw Simon Nielsen, and I sit down, start talking about with him, and I don't know if you know him, but he draws. How do you say drawing, like painting?
Yes,
draws
his tokens are so nice. Yes, go on. Yes.
Yeah, he draws his own tokens, and he was making those tutu tokens with like the name of creatures. Like he had a tutu Thalia and he had a tutu Denic, and he was painting Denic or Thalia and like saying things on the token. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making the tokens of Rata. Wait, what's the card again?
Ratadrabik of
Ratadrabik of Urborg. And, we were talking about other things, and I didn't want to inquire him more. But obviously, I had no clue what this card was. And so we stayed there for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes, and he was drawing these tokens. And he mentioned this card, which I didn't even felt like was a magic card, right? Because what name is that? Ratadrabik.
Yeah.
And then eventually I asked him again, but what are you doing with these cards? Like, why are you making, proxy for Denic? I thought because he basically had the checklist and he wanted to put the proxy of Denic into play, like, you know? So it turns out there's this card called Ratadrabik of Urborg, which in this winner list, now I understood it, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. Though. Maybe you guys can answer. This guy's from Urborg. Why is this guy not a Phyrexian?
Because Urborg is just a place in Dominaria.
So it doesn't have anything to do with Phyrexians, other than
not necessarily. Like
it gives black mana, probably. That's it.
Like the name of the card you're thinking of is Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. That just means Yawgmoth died there. Like it doesn't make that doesn't mean the card to be Phyrexian or whatever.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's this card which is 2 of in the sideboard. It's a 4-mana 3/3, and it says a bunch of words, and some of them are: whenever another legendary creature you control dies, you make a token that's a copy of that card, and it's a zombie 2/2.
Yeah,
that's not legendary. So you can have multiple copies of the same legend.
It's super sick because you can end up like, for example, like you can legend rule your own legends and then get a copy. So, for example, if you have a Shieldred in play, you can play. If you have Shieldred and Ratadrabik in play, you can play another Shieldred. And then you'll get an extra. Then you have 2 Shieldreds in play. One will be a 2/2, but that's fine. Yeah, you can keep going if you want. Although I don't know, it's pretty hard to get to the third one because I can't imagine your opponent just not dying as soon as you put the second one.
Isn't this card like very good?
I think so. It's very annoying for a lot of decks based on removal. Like
it also has Ward 2.
So yeah, the Ward 2 part is very annoying. And for example, it makes it good against sweepers, right? Like if your opponent wants to kick his command you out or whatever, and you put a Ratadrabik in play, suddenly that plan is not so good. It makes it drawing multiple legends is not a bad thing. For example, if you think like
it's a 3/3 though.
Yeah. Well, like I mean, it
now
covers your other guys though, right?
Why,
can't sweep them.
Now I know why Simon was drawing those tokens. So thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Ratadrabik.
Yeah.
It's impossible to pronounce it. Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk about Grixis a little bit too, because it came second in the other challenge by a nickname called Capitano.
El Capitano.
El Capitano. And he looks like he was playing the winner list from the European Championship with 2 Trespasser, 4 Cut Down. Again, a list very geared towards beating aggro decks, and I guess there were a lot of aggro decks in his path to the second place there. So,
but I mean, some things are different.
That's
right?
it.
Like, was this Lear in the sideboard before?
Yeah, no, it was not. I think
Lear, no, I don't think.
But that's an even bigger commitment to fighting aggro decks, right? Because that's basically Maybe that's the best hate card against him. I'm not
It's a
sure.
finisher against Sagro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
like-
play removal,
yeah.
Lear, GG.
Yeah, you play no cards ever again. Yeah.
It's funny because we thought cut down was kind of weak, but it seems like 3 or 4. Like this is just a cut down format.
Well, we thought it was
he's-
because we rated Esper. Like Esper was not as popular when we were thinking about it, right? But stuff has changed
Yeah, but
since then.
it's that we underrated Esper, and now like it's like cut down is like a 3 off minimum, like just
Yeah.
1+3 or 3 1
Yeah,
plus 1 affliction. This is like this is just like 1 4 cut down format, and I mean
Yeah, actually,
We were wrong.
both,
Yeah.
both top 4 deck list with 4 cut down, 25 lands, 2 trespasser.
Well, I don't know if we were wrong so much as that other people just
No,
didn't rate
yeah,
Esper
exactly.
yet.
I think we were wrong on the cut downs. I don't think we were wrong necessarily on the 25 land suitors special things, but
Okay.
I think we were wrong on the how good cut down was or how bad cut down was.
We have the player of the year of what year was that? 2018. Luis Salvato in the top 8 of a challenge as well with Mono White. Notably, he's playing 3 Field of Ruin. I believe these are for Plaza of Heroes.
So not
I mean, not
quite.
only that, they just
Wait,
fine.
what do you mean
Like,
3? Wait, he only has
So,
3
like-
instead of 8. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not. He's not all in like some other list.
Right.
Luis has
Seen
been
at
playing
DRC.
this quite a bit. He has played Mono White quite a bit already. So
Yeah, for
So-
sure. I know that.
One thing that I think is major is that now the 8 field thing has happened. Like it wasn't that hard for a lot of people to put 1 basic in their deck and make it hard for you to completely strip them of their mana.
Yeah.
But it's not so much about destroying Plaza of Heroes as it is, like, for example, the basics that people play are usually only going to be of 1 type. So, for example, Esper can play 1 Plains, or Grixis can play one or 2 Swamp, right? Maybe even 3 if you're going to be a truly wild child. But the field still cuts them off blue. So if they pass with, for example, Shiv and Reef and another land up, you can blow up the Reef, turn it into a Swamp, and then they win a blue mana to counter your big play. So I think it's mostly about forcing your spells through more than like actually killing
Yeah, I
specific
mentioned-
lands,
I mentioned Plaza because I thought that was the only like useful lands, but you
No,
know
just-
what you're saying.
Yeah,
is
you can
very
color
true.
screw
Yeah.
people for a turn, and that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the deck list because these challenges happen at closed deck list. So, for example, the winner had 0 basics in Esper, but you don't know. Though you maybe prefer to not take the risky line of
That makes sense,
spending
yeah.
3 mana to Field of Ruin.
you will lose if you
You'd
do
rather
that,
play
yeah.
I don't know something else like Steel Seraph or Lauren, even an empty Lauren. Or whatever, but like for example, that's funny. There's 2 Grixis in the top 4. One plays 1 Swamp, and the other one plays 4.
It's kind of
Yeah.
I mean,
So, like-
mono white land destruction. I don't know.
one more thing
Exactly.
about the Mono White Luis played. They played 3 Stonebrain on the sideboard. What's
Yes.
up with that?
That's for Traxa, right?
So I think I mentioned to you, I believe, or maybe not, but I lost to Mono White at the RC, and they stone-brained my Invoke both games.
Yeah, you did,
Just
you did.
flooded out
Yeah,
both games.
maybe
to a
that-
degree.
That
That's
one,
what-
I
that's
think
what
I think
we
it's because
do
the
here.
Atraxa matchup is so bad that you kind of have to go for some desperate measures, and like stone braining out
Yeah.
those Atraxas are
I'm
probably
guessing,
it.
yeah.
I mean, but if you
That's
play
a
like
good-
a mirror match, this card has to be acceptable, right? Because there's just a limited
Yeah.
amount of cards you can play.
The games go so long that like it actually
Mm-hmm.
matters. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Maybe you just deck them. You know?
I mean,
So
it takes 4 cards out.
that's about it for standard, right?
Yeah.
I think so. The rest seems
Do
like pretty
we
normal
do we
stuff.
want to talk about Pioneer, which I don't really follow very much these days, but I just want to shout out this player, Ari Zax. He, I would say, top 8s every single weekend, the the Pioneer Challenge, and he even 5-0'd the LCQ with his pet deck at this point, which is just Mono Green Devotion, which, doesn't seem that good anymore. For example, at the Pro Tour, it didn't do well at all, but, still doing well on Magic Online in Ari Zax's hands.
I think Monorail is as low as it has been since it was popular. Like, he's been doing well, but I think Monorail is doing worse and worse slowly. Like, it just remember, like, it was like the second best played deck, very close
People
to
were
Magret.
talking
Now
about
it's
banning
like-
stuff. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just consistently did wrong. I think it's still, not a fun deck to have around, but I actually think it's a good deck to pick up and play now because the metagame is slowly going having like
Forgetting
less
it.
tools against green. I actually got my QPs playing a league with Mono Green, so Like it's a decent deck right
Yeah,
now. I
I
agree
mean,
with you, but
it's
that's
also-
a metagame moving. So
Yeah, I mean, it's also a similar thing where, like, we remember this, choosing a deck for the Pro Tour was agonizing because all of the decks were so close to each other, and we ended up deciding we should just play what, like, we had known because all the decks were the same anyway, so, if Ari Zax has played a lot of mono green, which certainly seems like the case at this point,
All
you
right,
know, makes
Anthony
sense.
said it. You
What?
should play what you know best.
It's
and,
contextual.
that
I mean,
will
I
make
think
you-
I only think
No,
I
I'm
think that's
joking.
usually true
no,
in standard.
that's exactly what Anthony said.
It's true. Yes, it is
Yeah,
what I said.
this
It's
is-
true for standard and pioneer. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very much
in
the
modern.
case. It is not the
And
case
also
in
for
modern.
modern.
That is not the case. That is very much
No.
incorrect.
No. Okay, me, Mango, and the listeners heard it, so that's what it comes to.
From now on, when Anthony will talk about modern,
We will remember
Yeah,
this episode. We remember this
Amulet
episode.
Titan player, an Amulet Titan player,
It's episode 29 or something.
29.
29.
yes.
So
yes.
we'll remember episode 29 as the episode Anthony claimed that you should play what you know. Thank you.
I did say that. No, I mean
Exactly.
that's true. I did say that. You're saying it like I didn't say it.
There's something else going on in Pioneer, and it's been happening pretty much since the PT, where Greasefang is just just keeps killing it. Like, we
Yeah.
have the challenge here.
The challenge and
Yeah,
all the
first
prelims.
and second.
It's also like doing really well in all the prelims as well, right?
Yeah.
Greasefang is
It's also like the
completely burst
most. It's a very common deck among good players. Like they just, like you play against a rag, they have it. It's it's just kind of becoming probably the best deck right now.
It was
Would
so
you agree?
confusing as well. Like, I don't really know what happened, but it did horrendously at the RCs. Like, if you remember looking at those results matrices, it had a spectacularly low win rate. And then at the Pro Tour, we were just completely baffled that 3 of our teammates played it, and literally 1 other person did. So 4 people registered Greasefang at the Pro Tour, which is one of the most unbelievable things, I think. Like, it wasn't quite as stunning as when literally 1 person registered Grixis in Standard at Worlds last year, but I honestly felt similar when it was like, wait, there's no Greasefang category. Are they in the other? Like, it was wild. So people just completely disrespected Greasefang. And I don't know. Then since the Pro Tour, like, it's suddenly resurging. I guess some of that is obviously to do with the fact that it did well, right? David Inglis, Tangrams,
there were also people
he
picked
came
it.
ninth with
Yeah,
it,
But
like,
that
and
seems to be the case. Yeah.
And I do think that their list is also like a very substantial improvement over previous Greasefang lists. But
Yeah, I mean the
What a
winner is
traversal.
Roshi00, which is actually the person that I think played the vessel, all these kind of things first.
Oh,
And
yeah,
they
he
just
did,
keep
yes,
trying
yes.
cards.
yeah,
Yeah, this is like the magical line Absent Greasefang expert. This player
Yes.
has been playing this deck forever. I think they have won like 2 challenges or 3 already, maybe 3 times.
I think 3
with Greasefangs.
It feels like 3.
Yeah, I think 3 times. Also like a bunch of top 8s, and now they're playing Collective Brutality, which is a card that will not.
Wouldn't have guessed. Yeah,
I don't like it much, but I mean
see
at
if
this
it
point, I'm
sticks.
pretty sure this person knows their business a lot. Because they
Yeah.
clearly have tried all the cards.
and I think
Like-
also.
like, you know.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people think Greasefang is a lot easier than it actually is, and obviously you do get some games that are very easy, but not all of them are like that. And I think we might be, now that Greasefang is being taken more seriously, we are probably seeing more serious players also try Greasefang, which also contributes to it suddenly doing much better than before. Yeah.
It's also very tricky because it is. I mean, when I'm playing a lot of Black Red against Greasefang, it's a little bit. It reminds me a little bit of like the old Splinter Twin against Jund situation, where
Yes.
you have to develop, but if you don't develop, do you hold the mana and then they can decide to go for it or not?
Yeah, you give them a lot of
that's very
agency.
tricky because as a Greasefang player, also you have to identify whether you can wait or not. Because often, if you wait, it's going to be worse for you, right?
Yeah, you're digging a hole.
But sometimes it's like the other way around. And I think, I don't think this deck. I mean, it's a luck deck. I think Mango rated like 8.5 or so. But it's like I think it's a luck deck. But when the games become about decisions, they are like extremely hard. I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, the specific decision points have a lot of weight to them.
Yeah.
So
this is Roshi's deck list. They're playing a different deck list than like most people are playing the deck list our teammates played on the PT.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the mod. That's where you can see the deck list is.
Yeah, I was wondering, is Silence a commonly played card? Because not only I see it in this Greasefang list, I also played it preliminary Pioneer, and I net decked a green-white Angels list, and that was playing 4 Silence in the sideboard.
I mean, it's common for this player. This player has been playing Silence for like months.
And it is good.
I actually like them a lot. For them, if you ask them, they will say like, yeah, it's just nonsense to play without Silence because they always play it. But it's not stuck. It's like people either play the Rushi deck list or they play the Handshake deck list. So Handshake deck list doesn't play them, but Rushi does, and it's been for a while. And yeah, I mean, Silence is a good card. I don't think it's bad out of the sideboard in Angels because you can just, apply some pressure and just like silence the combo out. I think it's better sometimes than other hate because it affects all the combos. Like if you play Damping Sphere, you can only affect Lotus, right? But if you play Silence, you can silence Greasefang and also can silence Lotus and Creativity or whatever. So I think Silence is a good card to have. Like it's a playable card in Pioneer.
Yeah, it's more flexible, yeah.
It's very flexible.
That,
it's like a wide Spell Pierce, in a way. Where you can just cancel one effect for one turn.
Like intuitively makes more sense in Greasefang than Angels, I think, to be fair.
Yeah, it's different. Like in Angels, it's like you want to play Silence over Damping Sphere.
Yeah.
In Greasefang, you're gonna go Silence kill you.
Yeah.
Of course you can also silence in response to Ultimatum or whatever, but that's not why Silence is here. Silence is here so you can, beat Phoenix game 1 and this kind of stuff. Because against Phoenix you go like Silence, so you can kill it, you can kill them, right? So that's the whole point of Silence here. Because if you play a slow game, like this deck is prepared to actually play a slow game against reactive decks, like Black, Red, and Phoenix or Control. Like they have like 6 discard spells and 2 silences, so they want to delay the game to a position where you're strangled in resources, and they can just go for it. I'm pretty sure they don't plan to go for it into open mana, with 6 cards in hands most of the time. That's my impression.
That makes sense.
Yeah, also the sideboard, the Whisperer also goes towards that plan. This person loves Whisperer. I tried it and it was like acceptable only, but they keep playing it. So they must be great for them. And Ashok is a card I faced recently playing Lotus out of Greasefang. And it's annoying. It's certainly annoying because you can just not... It's very hard to go off with it. But I don't know what else Ashok is for. But at least against Lotus it is good. I don't know if it might be even better than Sphere because, they played the Ashok and I just couldn't live with it and I had my,
Yeah, I guess
so it's I'm just saying, like Boseiju doesn't deal with Ashok, and you can just not like.
And it kind of progresses you, right? So, like it does mill you. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was very good. So I'm saying it's an interesting card. Maybe it's good. Who knows? Has to be good in the mirror match, I guess.
Who knows that he knows?
So, yeah, they know for sure. Yeah.
For us to try to figure that out.
I wanted to share this display that happened in the preliminary with Angels. I was playing against the Bring to Light Omnath deck that was popular for a while, and I cited 2 Silence because I don't know if it's good or not, so I just cited in 2. And yeah, as you might imagine, the opponent cast Bring to Light, and I silenced the response.
Yay! Victory! That's cool.
Yeah, I won that game. So that was cool, but I don't know if Angels is good or not. I just wanted to play some very, very, very easy aggro deck. And on Magic Online, you don't even have to count, so it's very good.
I don't think Pioneer is particularly easy, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I would say that my 4-match prelim with Angels was an easy...
Yeah, because that's the literal easiest deck in the format.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was looking for, and I think I found it.
It was either Angels or Gruul. I don't remember which I'm not sure which of those we decided was the literal easiest. Who gets the crown, but it's definitely one of those 2 decks. I think on Magic Online I'm going to say Angels. I think in paper it might be easy to miss triggers or something, but miscount life or something. Yeah, I don't know, but I think on Magic Online it's got to be Angels, probably.
Yeah,
that's my vote. Yes, of course. Yeah, it seems.
All right, let's move into the last format we're going to talk about today. Shall we?
Last format we talk about today. Yes, indeed. Well, let's go second to last because we have to mention a little bit of the format of the people. Just something.
I do love.
Let's talk about Legacy first. So there was the showcase this weekend, as we've mentioned at the very beginning. Both me and Javier competed and lost in the Legacy showcase, but some other people won. Congratulations to Jacoby's boss.
That's common, most tournaments have people that win.
Exactly. I just had to make an intro. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to come up with an intro different every time.
No, it was good. I liked it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's as always not scripted. I just come up with all of these things at the moment, as you can notice. Anyway, Jacob is boss. He won with Teamer Delver, just like good old days.
This deck is very good old days. Like, it doesn't have Tombstalker, it has Regent, but it's pretty much, just Rock Delver. Like, yeah.
Tarmogoyf, that's the only green splash, and surprising because he doesn't even have a Binskimbu in the sideboard, which is what it was splashing for.
Yeah, I think this deck should play one or two Binskimbus.
I don't know if he ever played against control decks, but that matchup felt horrendous for me. Yeah, here it is. Delver in the top 8. How many copies got into the top 8? 2, I see.
2 Delver. That's fine. I mean, that's more than I expected.
Yeah, the Scuba 96 with 1 Life from the Loam, 1 Sylvan Library.
I like that one.
Yeah.
They're similar to, I think, what Baku played in the Nightbolt side event. I think I like this direction better than the Tarmogoyf one, but maybe a mix is possible. Like 2 Goyfs, 1 Sylvan Library. That kind of thing. That's maybe like a more balanced approach.
And in the second place, we see 4 copies of Knight of the Reliquary. So
with
Nayadef's
61 cards.
61 cards, okay. Nayadef's is back. Also on Saturday there was the challenge, and there was one by Abzan Maverick, so which is another Knight of the Reliquary deck. Yeah, just. I guess
that's those decks. Like, why will these bands make these decks better? I guess there's no initiative.
Yeah, must be the initiative decks.
Also, I guess these decks are now again good against Delver because Delver cannot grind this anymore because of iteration. Like, honestly, is hard. You have to forward.
My biggest takeaway from the iteration ban list is that Delver doesn't get to grind the control decks anymore and just has to rely on the Wasteland Days force plan to be successful.
Yeah. No, that's true. Maybe that's why I didn't do. Also, classic Doomsday. There's always a Doomsday in every tournament. Like,
what about Echo Baron and Red Green initiative list? Was your list different than this one?
I mean, it was a little bit different, but mostly the same. Like, 4 Mix and Move, 8 Adventures for Fury. It was very similar. I had Trinisphere. He didn't have it, but that's it. Like, I had more Trinisphere, less Magus, but it's very similar. I mean, this deck is just like, I think it's 10 out of 10 luck deck. Easy. I felt like the deck was fine, like, was goodish, but I also lost like a mirror match or whatever. But it's just, so I was saying this before, but my deck, if you think about this deck, look at the deck, it's pretty much supplementary product tribal with mana accelerators from the old times. That's it. Like, you have like these Caves of Chaos Adventurer, Under Mountain Adventurer, and Miskambu. Like, these are the cards you're building your deck around. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think I don't like this legacy too much because it's just like, you just flip the Ancient Tombs to get more mana, so you play these cards first and you win. I would rather play just, like Doomsday against Udo or whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, that's me. I'm not saying it's bad for the format.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad for the format, but like, it's just like, it's gonna happen again, with the when the print another supplementary product is that good as these cards, they're gonna get banned again because of White Plum Adventurer, and the rest of the legacy seems kind of balanced anyway. I don't really feel like there's a need to push this much, but yeah, I guess it's just like part of playing such an older format is you play a lot of the old cards or whatever, and this doesn't feel the case with this kind of decks. Which, as Mango said one day, it's like you get like the fresh situation because the cards are new, so the format changes. But also it's like fresh, but also like artificially fresh. It's like, I mean, this card I just made for only this format.
But they weren't. They were just made for something else, right? Like, it's just incidental. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't think about Legacy at all when they were making the initiative cards. Like, this wasn't their objective. They just happened to be illegal there.
No, but I think like a card like Mixcambu, it's kind of like a Gun Defect Extender. I mean, sort of legacy. Like it doesn't need to be as powerful as it is for Commander, right?
I don't know. Like, maybe, I mean, maybe
it doesn't have to. Like, to become the best threat in legacy, because arguably Mixcambu is the best threat in legacy right now. I guess it's either him or Mortite, but it's probably him. Like, it's just we're just making that's a new paradigm, which is fine, I guess. But I think it's a little bit. I prefer to play against this Knight of Reliquary connection. Just like all these cards like Reclaim or whatever, than just
I
all
think
the
it's valid.
adventurers.
Because the thing is, like, it's changed, but I mean, if people wanted the format to change all the time, they would play Standard, not Legacy, right? So
Exactly. I like this Legacy when you don't play Legacy for a month, but you're like, I'm playing Legacy.
get back
whatever.
in. Yeah.
That's
No, that
yeah.
makes
You get
sense
back
to me.
in. You get same as Vintage, right? Like Vintage doesn't change every week. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It
think
depends on the
Javier-
trend, but
I think, Javier, you have definitely a view that is very common for legacy players, which is, if you choose to play legacy, you very likely don't really want to follow new set every time, or just you like your deck to be almost that one. Whereas lately, Magic has pushed just pushed 3 and 4 drops, which happens to be very good with Ancient Tomb and Chrome Mox. I understand it. I feel it for sure. To me, as a content creator, I just love the innovation that they're bringing even to other formats. And I think overall, maybe the play experience of playing against Initiative is not fun, but I don't know, just diversifying the various decks that you can play Ancient Tomb, whereas before it was just Moon Stompy and that's it. Now you have a bit more, which are all very similar. Like, it's still Chalice of the Void decks. It's just that you have the clock is faster for sure, but
Okay,
it's a better deck. I played it because I thought it was good.
in particular, right?
Yeah.
We could say that. All right, so Initiative it might not be a positive play experience, but also it's possible that they could make new cards that are a positive experience in Legacy, right? Like,
Yeah, they could.
New
I don't think
cards are
Miss
not
Kambu is
inherently
actually
bad.
bad experience.
Yeah, they
no,
could
I
make
think Miss
some,
Kambu is good for the format. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think it's bad. But initiatives are, so the line is very thin.
yeah. So maybe you
Like,
just
very,
prefer
very
that they
thin.
were more cognizant of Legacy in general, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we would hope that in the future they think about legacy a little bit more, but it's so hard.
So what
since
you
so
just
many
you just need Legacy
things.
to get big enough that you have a dude who's like Sheldon Mannery who can be like, don't print this Electron card, because it would make me very sad when people play it in my format. You just need the Sheldon Mannery of Legacy,
I mean, someone has to try them, because we didn't think initiatives could be very good in Legacy until we actually played with it. So you need to play with them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah, exactly. But they just released the 40k Commander decks, which was like 500 cards. Like,
right.
and they are not even on Magic Online, so there might be something that's broken in there. 'Cause
That's
of
kind of
course,
exciting.
Paper players.
Do you not find that extremely exciting? I can't think of anything more Legacy than rejecting online play. Like,
Yeah.
let's go analog.
I know.
Oh,
I mean, I
It's
thought about this.
strange.
I asked a friend, like, wow, this green guy is great. Why didn't he play before? And he answers like, well, it was not online. Like,
so it might. So
I was like, oops.
right now there could be some completely busted thing in like the 40k set we just don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
so
it could be.
cool.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe it's
Yeah,
easy for
like-
me to say because I don't actually play Legacy. I just hear about it from you guys. But that sounds awesome
Actually,
to me.
There is a card that will for sure see play in the red-green deck, which is Moloch. Costs X red-green.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a 2/2.
yeah.
It's a 2/2 that fights, and then with X it grows. So like you
Yeah,
pay 4,
right.
it's a 4/4 that fights. Like that would 100% see play in this deck, but it's just not on Magic Online.
Yet.
So like you could have played this list at the last 4 seasons, but just nobody does because of course like everybody in that decks. But that's just Magic in general. It's just Legacy. It's to a next step, which is you literally have cards that are legal, but people just don't.
They're not
don't
online,
play
so
with
they
them.
don't try it, so they don't copy it. So it's like they're not legal. Yeah.
Oh wow, I hope that card's
All right, but that said, I feel like the ban is good for the format. Like, I think Legacy is better now than it was before. Initiative, like, now they're not like, oh my god, the best, like, whatever. They're just fine. It's just a deck. It's tribal commander or whatever, but it's just a deck that's fine. And honestly, it looks, I don't like that direction, but the format itself, it looks great. Don't you think so, Mango? Like these games are probably better than the iteration ones, and also the White Plumber ones for obvious reasons.
I mean, I definitely had fun playing my leagues with Delver. The Delver deck did very well in my testing. Again, it didn't go well in the tournament itself, but I was happy with my list. I wrote about it for Channel Fireball. Of course, posted videos and etc. So if you guys are interested in looking at my Delver list, I recommend that. Again, it was very fun. So yeah, same thing you're saying. That 8 different decks over here. There's even a control deck with that's playing Reckless Impulse over Expressive Iteration. Did you see that one?
Yeah,
That's
to be fair,
desperation.
those are the bans you ask for, Mango. You said, you wanted to ban White Plummeter, but you keep the 4-mana 1. You wanted Iteration out, and you wanted Sanctuary out, but banning Iteration basically banned Sanctuary. So you just got your Dream Legacy, Mango. You basically banned both cards.
Maybe he
Congratulations.
showed Memory.
Yeah, maybe Mango is already this. Yeah. Maybe Mango is the one ruling the legacy bannings, and we don't know it. Are you Mango? Are you that person?
Mystic Sanctuary is still in the top 8s in this control deck. You put on top Terminus.
Yeah, but it's like it's not a card you will ban here. It's barely playable in this deck. Like it's fine, but not very good. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Yeah.
So you got your Dream Legacy, Mango. Good job. I think you did a good job with those bans. I think you nailed it. So. Yeah.
No, don't put me any pressure.
No, you're officially also
home.
the person in charge of the banning, so you're doing a good job.
I see how many people hate the people in charge of any ban list.
Also, please don't ban Cephalic Illusionist. That will make me very sad. Thank you.
Maybe you need to be nicer to Mango then.
There's no Cephalids in the showcase top 8.
No, but yes, in the challenge 1 week again.
There is.
It still
in the
keeps saying, keeps showing up. I
And
didn't
also
play it, so.
And also Butakov with Mono Blue 8 cast. Still getting there. That's
Still
good.
getting there after all these years.
I didn't play 8 cast because there's so many Chalice of the Void still. I didn't expect so many Chalice of the Void against me, but
Yeah, it's I expected a lot of different decks for this legacy, which is good. Like I expected a lot of Reanimator, some Initiative, and a lot of like different decks. So it's. The metagame is diverse. Like it's 2 Delver, and then there's like different decks, like 1 good stuff, 1 Initiative. I think it's healthy. Also, the challenge metagame is also like 2 Reanimator, 8 cast, Elf, Valid. It's good. This metagame is good. I like it.
Okay, what about if we finally listen to Anthony's request of talking a little bit about Pauper?
What?
I don't think that's happening.
I never said
No,
that.
sorry,
I was talking about the format of the people.
No. What is it?
What happened in the format of the people today?
No, actually, I don't know what happened exactly. I think both the Pauper challenge were won by Burn, but by Mono Red. But I have to prepare for the Pauper Geddon, which is happening this Sunday. So on Saturday, I'll go up there in Litko. 600 people pre-registered.
Oh.
Yeah.
You should play Mono Red. The deck is gas.
I have played. I just tweeted about it. Is that I played my last 4 leagues. I 2-3 all of them with 4 different decks.
But do you play Mono Red for real? Like the only Pauper games I played, it was with this deck, and it felt like wow, I'm playing like a Pioneer deck. So that's...
I played 2 leagues with Mono Red actually, and I don't know. I feel like the deck just dies to itself so
Also,
often.
didn't you say that it just won 2 challenges or whatever? Like that seems like a rough time to play Mono
Yeah,
Red.
but it's like so many people play Mono Red in the Pauper challenges because of the double key.
But I mean, like, doesn't that make people like play more hate for it because they saw that it won challenges or whatever? Like, you're gonna play against some
still
dude
win.
they're gonna have
wins,
some like
Nah.
some white card
Pauper
from
players-
1983 that gains life equal to your opponent's height in inches or something.
Pauper players don't change their list. It's that. I mean, it's that deck. No, I'm joking. No,
Would
yeah.
you do coverage on Twitter so we can see?
What did you say? Sorry.
Will you do coverage on Twitter so we can follow your adventures in the Pauper Geddon?
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely do coverage of my testing process because again, I don't have a deck list, so I'm streaming Pauper almost every day, crushing my viewer count, and hopefully people will still watch the YouTube video. But I do like to do well in these tournaments because it is good.
He's addicted to winning now.
Round event.
He top 8 for the RC,
So
and now
long.
he's in. He just wants to win.
Also,
all
like
the
Pauper
tournaments.
matches are so slow because there's always some Turbo Fog players which drag the round for like 1 hour. or
Oh,
something.
that sounds delicious.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know how long the tournament is gonna get because it's 10 rounds, and on top of that, there are always some Turbo Fog players which will bound to be drawing almost all their rounds. So every round will be almost like 1 hour and 10 minutes or something. What do you think about this, Anthony?
I mean, if you think about it, I think of these people as literal thieves of joy. Like, if you think about it, let's say there's 50 people in the tournament, and they make the round go 5 minutes over time. You know, you can multiply that amount of overtime by the number of other people in the tournament, and they've taken that much from all of our lives collectively. So these people are evil, and we shouldn't tolerate it. So that's
I mean,
my...
600 people per round per 5 minutes. That's a lot of time.
They're basically committing a murder every single time by unintentionally drawing. I think that's fair to say.
That's a fairly aggressive
unintentional
stance.
draws are equivalent to murder and should be tried and charged and tried as such.
All right,
But
I
you
think
can't really, because I swear it's Pauper. Like, every deck can go to draw. Even Mono Red Mirror Match can go
It's
to
fine.
draw.
600 people sign up for these things. We can afford to put some in
If you
jail.
go to time with mono red burn mirror match, it's your fault. I will not.
No, but the
No.
new Mono Red, they drew like 50 cards.
I know,
every game.
but still, like, you still have like enough burn spells to kill your opponent with 12 cards. So if you don't,
The first one that puts Chain Lightning on the stack ends the game. Basically.
exactly.
Oh wow.
So I don't agree there, but yeah, I mean, it's a slow format. It happens. I think that's enough. We should cut before Anthony just start attacking other people.
Yeah, you've done a great
So
job
we-
of really making me want to play this format, man. Good job. I'm definitely more interested in playing Pauper after that talk.
All right.
But yeah, it's not even. I don't think I can even plan a dinner that day, because unless I like drop, there's no way the tournament ends around
300
dinner
people,
time.
2 hours per round. Yeah, GG. You can,
Yeah.
you'll be lucky if you get to sleep.
No, but we'll be traveling on Saturday, so I can book a dinner for Saturday.
It's fine. Just get some McDonald's or something. You'll be fine.
If they're
No,
open.
I ate McDonald's yesterday.
That's
Just laying on all
MTG
the
Fitness.
Mengucci cuisine, hashtag.
Yeah, MTG Cuisine. All right. So I want to take one thing. We might have a surprise for you later in the week.
For me?
For you, all of you listeners, and you, Mengu, and Anthony. We'll see if that happens. I think it will happen, but we're not very tech savvy. But keep tuned. And yeah, I mean, I really think we should
Stay
stop
tuned.
before Anthony gets aggressive. Please.
I've never been aggressive in my life.
Yeah, no. It's late in Australia. I'm sure he'll calm down. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. What do you guys do next weekend? I said my plan. What about your plans?
I honestly don't have a strong plan. I think I will recoup some of the, I will win Modern LCQ, and then I will win the Modern Showcase. That's my plan for the weekend.
Oh,
I was going to say nothing, but that's my plan, actually. Yeah.
Ambitious.
Yeah, but what if it happens? It will be like so.
Cold
so
shot.
cool.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's true. And then
Yeah,
if it
that's my
doesn't
plan for
happen,
Saturday.
we'll just go back and edit this part out. So that's fine. Yep.
Yeah, Sunday's free, but Saturday, dude, yeah, get ready, Modern Showcase players.
Wow.
Wanna qualify.
I haven't talked about the Patreon at all, but we do have a Patreon, and 2 people joined it this week, which is Marcio and Boschward. So
Cheers,
thank
guys.
you for joining the Patreon, and yeah, you can join us and talk about Standard and all the other things that are going on.
Yeah, Marcio, if we make jokes about Marcio, is the other Marcio, don't get offended.
Yeah, I spoke to this
Okay.
Marcio. He's very nice. I would never say anything mean to this Marcio. Other
Yeah,
Marcio,
but the other one, yeah.
all bets are off.
All right, thanks for listening to everyone.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
All right, see you next time.
Bye-bye.